Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Infinity, and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course, the law of attraction. In today's video, we are going to be discussing shifting timelines, and specifically, how to jump to a brand new timeline and use this as a technique to manifest your dreams and goals in life. Now, when it comes to manifestation, anything we manifest in our lives, and in fact, any specific manifestation technique that we use, is really all for the goal of one thing, and that is to shift our vibration, to shift our frequency, and in shifting that frequency to alter our timeline. So you could think of timeline jumping as getting right to the core of what all forms of manifestation are all about, which is shifting your frequency, moving on to a new timeline, and in this way, entirely constructing a brand new reality. So in this podcast episode, I'm going to be sharing a step-by-step guide, so to speak, of how to radically shift, alter your vibration, and in doing so, shift onto a totally new timeline that is aligned with whatever you desire to create, attract, embody, or manifest into your life. But first, if you're new to the channel, welcome. I really hope that you find something helpful or informative throughout this video. If my energy is resonating with you, I also invite you to subscribe to this channel, join our beautiful community of like-minded, conscious, creative beings here on YouTube. So let's begin by discussing what a timeline is. So for the purposes of this guide, a timeline is a trajectory for your life. It is your past and your future combined into this access point of the now moment, the present moment. And the now moment is the only way to access your vibrational frequency, which of course, it is your frequency, your vibration that determines your entire timeline. So what I mean by this is, when you shift your frequency in a profound way, you not only alter your future trajectory for your life, so the course of your relationships, the course of your life path, the course of your career or business, the course of your body and your health, whatever the case is, you also alter your past in a sense as well, which sounds really strange to us from a physical human perspective. But Neville Goddard, a truly great spiritual teacher, actually spoke on this very thing, except he referred to this process of altering the past, so to speak, as a revision technique. Neville Goddard believed that essentially you could rewrite past events, particularly interactions that may have gone poorly with other people, through consistently and frequently imagining them differently in your mind. Now, from one perspective, of course, the past events that we've experienced are already set in stone. So they are already so solidified collectively within our minds that we can't change them in that sense. From a different perspective, a lot of the past that we are still experiencing, remembering in the present, is actually experienced through selective memory. So it's selectively and collectively what we think about when we imagine the past, because of course, at any given moment in time, we are taking in so much energetic information that it would be impossible to accurately know and remember every detail from any moment in time, let alone when we are now looking back through the lens of time, of months or years gone by. So much of how we experience the past, and even how others we are connected to experience the past, is actually dictated by our present moment frequency, our vibration. So for example, if you may have had certain negative past interactions with a friend over the course of your relationship, the amazing thing is, by altering your vibration in the present, by focusing on in the present moment the positive aspects of that friendship, that person, that connection, and not feeding the negative memories with that person, the past negative interactions you may have had, as you do that consistently, you will notice that that friend who may have been treating you a bit poorly in the present because of those shared, remembered, selectively remembered interactions from your past, may actually begin to treat you and connect with you in a more positive way. And this is just one small example showing you the power when we shift our vibration in the present. This truly holds immense power for altering, again, not just the future, how things continue to go in our lives, connections, etc., but also our past as well, and how people interact with us based on past experiences. So this timeline jumping technique is truly really powerful. It teaches us how to access that now moment of the present, rather than being controlled by our selective past memory or fears that we might project out into the future. So let's go ahead and dive into this step-by-step guide on how to radically alter your vibration, which then will shift you onto a brand new timeline and begin effortlessly attracting to you your dreams, goals, desires, things you want to experience from that new point of vibration. So the first step to jumping to a new timeline is to notice and take account of facets, aspects, patterns of thought, etc. in your life that might be keeping you tied to a particular timeline. So what I mean by this is, usually if we have felt really stuck for a long time in our physical 3D life, we aren't actually stuck, because in actuality, we are creative, all-powerful, creative beings. We have the ability to mold, shape, and direct, channel energies. And in channeling and molding these energies, we have the ability of making every moment new. In fact, in the comments section under this video, you might find it helpful to really solidify it in your mind, to write the affirmation, every moment is new. Because one of the strongest collective unconscious limiting belief patterns is around time, and particularly we tend to slow down our manifestations and slow down our ability to jump onto these new timelines because of this collective limiting belief that things are going to continue the way that they've been going. We often live heavily through our memory and then feel as though we are stuck because we are constantly tuning our vibration to the vibration of our own past. And then doing that over and over again. So our vibration continues to create new realities. It's just that those realities do not look new because the vibration continues to stay the same based on what we've experienced in the past. So very often, what we'll find is there may be certain daily rituals or habits that we might not even be fully consciously aware of that are keeping us stuck in a vibrational holding pattern and preventing us from taking these major leaps along our life path. So, as we begin to notice these things, we might find that there are certain times of day where we are having certain conversations with certain individuals, talking negatively about the past or projecting fear into the future. We might find that there are certain times of day where our thoughts tend to slide into the negatives, or we might even feel like we're kind of looping in a negative headspace. And of course, this isn't instantaneous because we all do carry around these negative, unconscious, limiting beliefs that keep us in these holding patterns. But over time, we can begin to rework some of those physical 3D triggers that launch us back into those old vibrational places. So this might be limiting certain forms of conversation with certain people who might project their own fear regularly onto us. It might be finding space in the day to meditate and visualize, which is a really powerful tool that I'll get into later. Finding ways to really ease up some of those more negative vibrational patterns and places within our day. And particularly, one really powerful way to begin shifting our vibration very fast is to analyze the ways in which certain things from our past might actually be holding us in a past story. So pay attention to any objects or keepsakes that you might constantly be pulling out, looking at, and maybe feeling a kind of heavy, sad energy around. Oftentimes our possessions or our physical environment can keep us living through the past. So finding ways to break out of those patterns, whether it's taking a walk in a new place, visiting a new place, breaking out of some of our old daily routines. These can all be really powerful practices for essentially untethering us from our own past. So, with that being said, those things that keep us tied to the past and future, again, these are things that must be reworked over time as they come up for us, as we notice them. But regardless of how tied we are to the past or the future, when we use what I'm going to talk about in step 3, the power of our imagination to really access that point of power in the now moment, those other things will slowly become irrelevant, those things that may have tied us to the past or future, as we infuse more power and life into this vision that will begin to energetically pull us into that new timeline, that new reality. So with that being said, the second step to shifting into an entirely new timeline is, of course, to determine where you want to go. And this seems really obvious, but there was a poll done once that is cited in Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich. And the poll was taken of people who felt very unfulfilled in life, felt as though they had failed in life. And 98 out of 100 people who felt unfulfilled in their life did not have a definite chief aim in their life. They did not have something definite that they felt that they were aiming at, a kind of goal. So defining where we want to go, just like plugging in a location into our GPS, is extremely important because it provides a kind of touch point, a hinge point in that new reality that we are then able to hold onto vibrationally, and that begins to pull us until it's actually the reality we are experiencing, not just in our mind, but in our physical world. It truly is the case that anything we visualize heavily over and over again, especially with emotion, specificity, and detail, becomes our physical reality. Our landscape of our life begins to mold itself to those visions we hold in our mind. So as you consider this new timeline you want to step into, I do find that if you are just beginning to consciously apply these timeline shifting practices, it can be really helpful to have one specific, as I'm calling it, a hinge point or a touch point of that new timeline. So, for example, in this new timeline, you might say, I have X amount of money, or I am working this job, or I have this kind of business, or my relationship looks like this, my body looks like this. The reason I say it can be helpful to have one specific hinge point or touch point in the beginning is that it gives us a sort of marker. It also helps us to know when we've actually reached that new timeline, when we are living in that new reality, because we have something concrete to aim at. And do keep in mind that even if you only select one positive change you want to make in your life, the amazing thing is you will, along the way, begin to experience so many other positive changes as well. It's not as though your positive change will be limited to that one thing. Because as you raise your vibration to align with the timeline where you are living in that positive outcome, living that dream business or that dream relationship, or whatever the case is for you, you will find that through raising your vibration to align with that one thing, that raised vibration will actually positively uplift all other areas of your life in profound ways as well, because essentially it's aligning you with this higher timeline generally in your life. This will positively impact your family connections, your friendships, your happiness, your mindset, your physical body, your health, etc. And so another step, which I kept as step 4, but I feel like this is a great place to mention, it can be really helpful to note any positive shifts or changes you start experiencing in your physical reality. You will find as you use these practices and processes that certain positive changes will just suddenly jump out to you. You will notice someone who might be treating you or responding to you more kindly than usual. You will notice that the universe delivers you some kind of positive interaction or communication, or even things that just feel like a gift at times from the universe that seem to come out of nowhere. These can all be signs that you've shifted into this brand new timeline, or you are well on your way. And in a separate video, if there is interest, I would love to create an entire podcast dedicated to signs that you've shifted into a brand new reality and onto a brand new timeline. So do let me know in the comments if you want more information on that. But for now, let's get back to the third step. This is really where the heart is, the core is of this work, these processes to shift onto this new timeline. And this is utilizing the true powerhouse of your own imagination. Our ability to visualize out into the future is in direct correspondence to the innate creative power we incarnate with here on earth. However, over 99% of people are using this incredibly powerful imaginative faculty to create unwanted or unconscious realities. We call this worry when we project out into the future negative outcomes using our imagination. So the key here is to really turn the tides and begin consciously utilizing our imagination to visualize more of what this new timeline would feel like, would look like, would sound like, would be like to live in. the more of your physical senses you can use in your imaginative process, the more that future vision will actually pull you with greater strength toward it and greater speed as well. Although, of course, time doesn't really exist at the level of energy, but from a 3D perspective, you will move a lot faster into this new timeline. The more emotion you can infuse, the more of your physical senses you can engage in these powerful visualization processes. Essentially, we want to see this imaginative process as putting on the energy of that brand new timeline, wearing it like a piece of clothing until it becomes so familiar to us that it actually becomes absorbed into a part of us, where we simply begin naturally embodying that energy and therefore consistently experiencing the resultant desired physical 3D reality. And of course, as a final step to this process, be sure to protect yourself energetically from any doubt or fear that others might project onto you. This feels really important to specifically mention because very often we begin to build this kind of energetic momentum that is truly pushing us into a new reality, pulling us up onto a new timeline. But then through our words, we begin to share about this new reality with others who can't yet see it, who can't yet see our vision. And words are a form of energy transfer. So when we speak about our new realities we're shifting into with those who can't yet see the vision, we are actually dissipating our own energetic momentum. And of course, this will not entirely prevent us from shifting into that new reality, but it can really slow down the process because we begin empathically opening ourselves to absorbing some of those lower vibrations of doubt and fear that others project onto us. So in addition to all of this, I would really recommend, especially during your visualization practice or overnight while you sleep, if you would really like to supercharge your results from this technique and really begin to shift much more quickly, utilizing your subconscious mind as a portal is extremely effective because we've talked through this podcast about many of those subconscious loops and patterns that keep us stuck living through our own past and creating the same new future reality. And it's actually said that 95% of our thoughts are actually unconscious. So my favorite tool for deeply reprogramming the subconscious mind are subliminals. On my website, soundandsoulful.com, as you can see on the screen, I've created over 100 subliminals for all areas of life. So I have subliminals for physical appearance changes, for mood shifts like confidence, happiness, anxiety relief, for love and relationships, for energy clearing, and so much more. I even have several subliminals for manifesting very specific things. So if you would like to really charge your energy to an even greater degree and pull yourself onto that higher timeline even more quickly, selecting subliminals that resonate with that futuristic timeline will help you to really deeply reprogram your subconscious mind and help you begin embodying that reality energetically more quickly. And you can even create your own playlists using the different subliminals that may resonate with the desired future timeline you are shifting onto. So again, you can try out any subliminal I've created completely free. I will be leaving a link to my all-time favorite subliminal, which is for 7 chakra energy clearing. This is a great place to start if you just want to begin with a comprehensive, deep level energy clearing and mind reprogramming tool. So all of the information on that is in the pinned comment and description box under this video. You can also follow me on Instagram at Magnetize Yourself for more content and information. Let me know in the comments if you do want any more videos on timeline jumping, on signs that you've shifted into a new reality, or anything of that nature. I always love hearing from you and getting your suggestions. So thank you so much for tuning in to this podcast today. I hope it was helpful, and I am sending you so much love, wishing you a beautiful day, and I'll talk to you again in the next video.